Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. So today we're taking a look at a PS3. So this PS3 has been Frankied and it was put back into testing, but I'm running into a weird issue. So I did my usual Frankie resistor training the syscon, and then I boot up. So if I go into bring up, we will see what happens. So as you see, it beeps. It goes through the first bunch of the double beep and then it yellow lights of death. If we look at the error code, we're getting 1701, which I thought was weird because I didn't really know what to think of it. From here, what I ended up doing was removing the, what is it, the RX syscon, TX, I think it is, syscon wire, so I guess the blue one, and we don't need the rest, I believe. And basically I'll leave a link to all of this down below if you don't know what's going on here. The easy way to explain it is this is our UART reader. These are the pads to read the syscon, where you read your error codes, train or trick your syscon for 60 and 45 nanometer. And then back there, what I just soldered was for the SB UART. Basically, when you solder the RX wire to the point you saw me solder to, and leave your ground, and you open up PuTTY, go to your COM port. For me it's COM3, and the baud rate is 115200. You have to train your syscon to do that. I'll leave a link to all that. And I power it on. We should see it. Maybe I got it mixed up. It's probably my green wire instead of my blue wire. Let's try swapping the wires real quick. But basically, what you should see when you do this is there's an output that shows you your OS version and all that fun stuff. And you should basically see all that. So let's try it again. There we go. So for me, if we scroll up, you'll see that my SDK version is 250.00, so that's firmware version 2.5.0 as listed above. If we scroll down, you see basically like RSX driver assert failed, RSS. So basically, my firmware is too low for the 40 nanometer, which we should know already. You're basically between 3.15 and 3.55, I think it is. 3.15 might be for like a 65, and 3.55 is probably for the 40. I'll leave a link to everything, as I mentioned. So essentially, we are stuck here. What I think, or I've been told I can do, is reintroduce my old friend. So if you guys saw the Red Screen of Death video, this is my Teensy. My Teensy is programmed with a file that can put this bad boy into factory service mode. So I think what we need to do is hook this up, enter FSM mode, and I should be able to use the standard factory service mode LV2 diag and the 3.55 custom firmware and get it working. If that doesn't work, I think I have to pull my NAND from there and the one on the other side and do all that, but we'll go through the journey together and kind of figure it out as we go. I just think this is interesting because common, I guess, assumption is 1701 is usually a cell issue. Like you need to reball your cell or whatever. We're kind of seeing that 1701 for Frankies, or in general, 1701 can also just be RSX. So essentially, if you have it, if you SB UART and it's Frankie, probably low firmware. In other cases where it's not, you can try replacing your RSX more than once, see if that'll fix it. But yeah, let's Teensy it and see what happens. Basically, I want to plug my Teensy into the furthest right USB port. I'll plug it in, press power eject, and I guess in the SP logs you should see some okay stuff. if you're wondering what a teensy is, a teensy was, I guess, originally used for like NAND related stuff. So back once upon a time, you would use a teensy, and what you see here is a NAND dumper, and you would dump your NAND using a teensy, write your NAND back using a teensy. You would enter factory service mode using a teensy, and the way you do that is for entering factory service mode. There is a folder I'll include called PS3 downgrade files. Where is my PS3 downgrade file? Here we go. And in this folder, there is a folder called FSM. And you basically use this program called Teensy if you have a Teensy, I think it's a Teensy++ 2.0, and you program your Teensy with this PS grade file for the Teensy. That'll allow your Teensy to put your PS3 into factory service mode if you're on 3.55 or lower. If you're higher, this ain't gonna work. Once you're in FSM, this get into FSM folder has an LV2 diag.self and a PS3 update.pub. PS3 update.pub file is a custom firmware 3.55 that has no Blu-ray drive and all that, so if you have a bare motherboard it should work. If you want to be safe, you always want to plug in the Wi-Fi Bluetooth card and your drive or a random drive, and that will work. You want to put these two files in the root of a USB stick, and you'll plug that in after. So basically what I want to do now is I'm plugging my Teensy in, and we're gonna look at our putty session just to see what goes on, and I'm gonna hit power and eject within a second. So power, eject. Now let's see if it'll. I don't think it's gonna work that way, because as you see, it's still giving that. Let's try one more time, maybe. No, it's still giving the driver fail. What else can we try? I do want to try just the USB port by itself. So basically what I mean is, maybe I just plug this into the furthest right USB port and see if that one helps. It's the same thing. Power off, power eject. Once again, if I hold down the power button, still gonna give it. If I do power all the way, so triple beep we're waiting for, beep, still gonna give it, because it doesn't like the RSX. 1, 2, see? It does not like it. Power eject. Same thing, doesn't like it. So from here we're basically stuck. Teensy ain't gonna work by itself. So I think what we want to do is remove the NANDs. So if you remember or don't, here's one NAND chip, and the other one for an A01 or B01 is on the bottom side. So this is your NAND 0, and the one on the other side is your NAND 1. And why you need to remember that is essentially when you're reading and writing NAND, that's very important. From here, I guess we're just going to remove this and the bottom one, and we'll come back once we get that removed. There's many ways to remove it. You can use a soldering iron, heat up each side with leaded solder, so you basically flow these points with leaded solder here and here, or you can do the same, I guess, flow it with leaded solder and lift, or flow it with leaded solder so the heating temp is lower, hit it with some hot air and just tweezer it off. I'm gonna probably do the hot air method, but we'll be back once we get that done. Okay, so we got all of our NANDs pulled, as you see, NAND 0, NAND 1. So 0 Blu-ray drive, 1 IHSI. So you have two options here to dump your NAND. You have Teensy and FlashCat. I like to use a FlashCat because it's faster reading, slightly faster writing than the Teensy. So with Teensy we might be here all day. We put that aside. With FlashCat, you'll be here maybe like half the time. Alright, so this is normally where we'd gone to the next step, which is plugging in the TNC and getting to factory service mode and basically being almost done with the process. So as you see, NAND chip is back and all that. But if we do our bring up, you'll notice that it yellow lights of death. And if we look at our error code over there, we're getting a big ol' 3040, which I've run into this once before, kind of in a similar fashion where it was a Frankie and I went from 1701 to 3040 no matter what I did, and putting back the original NAND dumped will just get me back to 1701. So I'm unsure what the issue is. As we saw, the firmware is 2.5, so 2.5 and 2.10, and it's patched for 3.55, so theoretically it should work, but it's not. So next step, I'm gonna remove the RSX, put back on a 90, see if it boots with the 3.55 patch. If it doesn't, I'm going to undo the patch, so basically remove the NAND chips, write back the original dumps that I keep safe, go from there and see if it boots there, and hopefully it'll boot there and we'll be able to just kind of do the normal update process. But if you were to have a NAND issue and doing what I'm doing at this step, once you have the NANDs written back with 3.55, you would simply plug your Teensy. So you would take the USB cable, plug one end in here, one end in here, and you would just press power plus eject, like power button, eject button a second after, and it would boot into factory service mode. So you would see it like turn on and turn off after 10 seconds, and then you would just take a flash drive, put an LV2 diag file, plug that in, turn it on, and it would write. Hopefully that all still will do it all, but I don't know. We'll kind of take it how it comes and see what happens. Didn't expect this to be this crazy, but it is what it is, I guess. So, on to the next parts. While we do this, I would like to thank today's sponsor, PCBWay. From prototyping to production, PCBWay delivers top quality printed circuit boards with precision and speed. Streamlined orders, limitless possibilities. Whether you're a pro or a hobbyist like myself, PCBWay takes your projects to new heights. Elevate your designs today with PCBWay. Start now by visiting PCBWay.com. Alrighty, so where we currently stand is here. You saw me swap out the USB port. For some weird reason, the fourth USB port doesn't work, which is giving me a lot of issues. So we got it booting into its original firmware, and you notice that my USB is on the third to the right, and it boots perfectly fine. So as you see there, I kind of showed this in an earlier clip, but it boots to factory service mode. The issue here is you cannot update in this mode. It finds a 3.55. I cannot update here, or else it's going to go into red screen of death, which is what we had previously. So this is my USB stick, as you see here. If I now plug it into my fourth USB port, and I go to system update via storage media, it does not find it. And I'm just not sure what to do, because essentially I think what the issue here is since this port just doesn't seem to work at all, when I flash the 3.55 factory service mode, it doesn't detect the file here to ever enter or leave. Same with 4.70, now it's the same here. So essentially, we are stuck in a semi-working state on 2.55. We're essentially stuck here to end it. 2.50 on a 90 nanometer. So we fixed the 1701, I guess. Can't Frankie it because the firmware is too low. Can't patch it because the USB port doesn't work here. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. Unfortunately, this one doesn't seem like a fix, so it is what it is. I'll keep poking around with it one day. I'm just kind of tired of looking at it so much. And maybe when we get it fixed, I'll post an update to what I did. Until then, that's it for now. So, as always, if you like, leave a thumbs up, comment. If I have any questions, please ask them. I'll try my best to answer. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one, whatever that may be. See you.